Yeah, I mean, we haven't determined anything. I think there's a few different ways that we could go. We really, truly haven't talked about it very much, if at all. No, I don't think because it's a foregone conclusion at all. I just think we haven't talked about it. It's the fourth day of camp, and I think there's a lot of things that have to kind of fall in place. And right now, we're just, pretty much trying to get everyone going and seeing where we're at, and we'll make that determination later.
Have you ironed out maybe the first few starts for the Cactus League games?
Yeah, and again, like because we have guys kind of coming from all different directions, you're going to see, kind of the normal potpourri, the young guys sprinkled in with the older guys. There won't seem to be any rhyme or reason for it. It'll just be based on their schedule.
Who's the first couple of starters out of the game?
I actually don't have it on me. And again, because of that, you're going to see some younger guys probably get in the mix pretty quick.
Tyler mentioned Hunter's added to his arsenal a little bit this offseason, pitch-wise. What's the story there?
Yeah, so he did add a curveball. I like it so far. It's been a kind of a neat pitch for him. It's a slower pitch, and for him, that's kind of something he needed. He has got a lot of fast ones, and so this is, if nothing else, you're seeing the hitters kind of take it in a strange way. It's almost like they're jumping at it a little bit. It slows them down. It's going to make his fastball look a little bit better if he can set it up right. I don't know how much he's going to use it. We really haven't talked about the usage part of it yet. But I do like it early on. It seems like it's a good pitch. He can command it. He does have a split. He's kind of fiddling in between a split and a changeup. He throws both. We like them both. For me, it's more about what he can throw for a strike, as opposed to what action it is or whatever. But I do like both of them. I think for now we're just going to have to try to figure out like which one he can throw for a strike the most.
Derek, what are you expecting to see from guys in their third year now? Hunter and Nick and Graham. What kind of step forward will they take this year?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they've made nice progress in a lot of different ways. The number one thing is we need for him to go kind of pole to pole from start to finish. That's just one thing they haven't done as a group yet. So it'd be nice to see like what the body of work looks like if they could start a season and finish a season, give us those 150, 180 innings and see what that looks like. So I think that for me is the primary thing. And obviously, I can't control all of that, nor can they, but we're doing whatever we can to get them healthy, keep them healthy. I think if they're healthy, you're going to see a lot of maturation as they go. From a pitch perspective, from a delivery perspective, or whatever, I think they've done a nice job. I think the trajectory is fairly normal for a guy in the third year in the big leagues. You're always going to want more strikes, always. I mean, if we can cut down our walk rate, then that's obviously going to be a good thing for us and for them.
When you look at the competition this year, it seems like maybe since your tenure, you've got more depth for the spots than you've had 10 guys really for 5 spots. I don't think you've had that kind of battle yet. How does it compare to maybe the past 2 years?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had quite as much competition in camp, which to me, competition's a great thing. It should bring out the best in our guys. If it doesn't bring out the best in our guys, we kind of know something about them, I think, too. So, for me, it's a good thing. It's a healthy thing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these guys battle it out.
Can I put it on the coordinator hat for just a second? That competition goes all the way down. You could talk about it's gonna be tough to put together a Chattanooga rotation and a Louisville rotation, which is something you guys haven't really had.
Yeah, and I mean it's the fruits of the labor from our player development, and some of these guys have really popped in the last couple of years. Julian Aguiar comes to mind. Of just some guys that really weren't a thing a couple of years ago, and now all of a sudden they're in big league camp, and we're looking at them a little bit differently than what we ever have before. So from my perspective, you could start to see that trend maybe 2 or 3 years ago when they were in Daytona, getting into Dayton, and so for me it's definitely something that we thought would happen. but it's probably even a little bit better than maybe even what we expected.
Because usually guys like Aggie are, if he's in camp, you know, you're like, oh yeah, he's probably going to AAA. But like with what you guys have, he's probably double A. Like you have several guys in big league camp who are probably going to be double A.
Yeah, it could be, and I think that speaks well for us too. Generally you're pulling most of your guys that you're going to bring up to the big leagues from AAA. There stands to reason that we could bring guys up from AA this year too, which is a nice thing to have.
What do you like about Montas?
So far, he's been, very much kind of a leader. Like he's been down here a long time. He's been in the complex. It seems like the younger players gravitate to him. So there is a leadership role there that he's taken on, and it's not necessarily that he's any kind of rah-rah cheerleader kind of guy, but he does have a presence about him. He does his work. He's very consistent in what he does. He's been very consistent with his bullpens. The live BP yesterday was fun to watch. I mean, this guy's cutting it up pretty good, and he was really, really competitive in what he was doing.
I know he's not actually one of your guys, but you work with him. You notice something a little different with Tyler Stevenson. It almost seems like he's just kind of, I don't know, more grounded in a better place, or there's just something like maybe a maturation or something. It just seems like there's something a little different.
I think when guys are in the spotlight for as long as he's been, coming up through and being sort of our, catching hope for the future type of thing, it takes a while for these guys to feel normal and to feel comfortable in what they're doing. The catching position certainly is one of the hardest, especially because you've got 33 guys in camp right now, and you've got to try to figure out every single one of them. And I don't know about you, but like I can't remember 33 things at one time, let alone like all the pitches that they throw. So these guys are asked to take on a lot of information, and I think maybe if nothing else, what we're seeing is Tyler's in a place now where he's accustomed to it. He knows kind of what his role is. He knows what he needs to do, and he feels fine about that. And I agree. I think he's just really comfortable right now. We'll see when the games hit. We'll see when the season hits. But so far, so good.
You mentioned a minute ago live EP and Montas, but it seems like a lot of guys are kind of maybe ahead of what's normal. Is this a lot of guys that are already throwing lives compared to most camps? Was this the plan?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, you're going to give two sides 2 lives, then you get into games. I mean, that's kind of a standard operating procedure for a long, long time. And, some of these guys came into camp and they had already thrown lives, so we felt like we could get them in just a little bit earlier. Frankie did do a side, and he had a side the day before camp started. So really we followed sort of the same rule of thumb. He's just maybe a little bit ahead. And really what it boils down to is we have to backtrack sort of from the beginning of our season backwards, and that's how we have to plan. So, we're just following that plan based on kind of what we've sketched out, for the next couple weeks, 3 weeks.
This isn't unusual. It's just best case scenario.
Yeah.
Abbott last year, I guess he was coming out of last year. He wanted to really improve his endurance and certainly go the distance this year.
Right.
Otherwise, he was looking to maybe put more shape into his pitches. What have you seen in his improvement on his, especially his off-speed stuff, and where could he kind of take another step up from what he did last year?
Yeah, so all we really messaged in the off season with him is we really wanted him to be able to get the ball consistently to his glove side. We feel like if he can do that, then most of the other pitches kind of come into shape the way that they need to. His breaking ball, both breaking balls, really for me have good shape. His slider can be elite, and really it's just about being able to throw it for a strike when he wants to. We also talked a little bit about his changeup, trying to get a little bit more down drop to it, so some vertical, drop. I haven't seen it enough to know if that's really where it's at this point. What I have seen is a lot of strikes. I've seen him get the ball glove side. It looks easy. He sat 94 the other day. You'll see him again today. So, he feels to me like he's in a good spot. I think what we saw, and we all kind of agreed that he was just gassed last year. And, and so I think some of the things that we saw was just simply because this kid was he was just simply tired. But that's what we messaged with him this winter. Yeah, I think he had the foot thing. He is dealing with that a little bit. He trained all year, all winter, in tennis shoes because he had to. And then where he works out and stuff, the mounds are indoors, so they're plastic mounds. He's making a transition from putting his feet in spikes and on earth, to what he was doing before. So I think it's another transition period for him where, we're probably not seeing the very best of him quite yet. But I think that as soon as he can kind of get into that next piece, the stuff looks pretty good. His two seam is two seaming, which is a good thing. And we know that his four seam is going to cut. The slider seems fine. He's not throwing it for a strike quite yet. But, all the shapes and all the things are there with him. I think it's just a transition thing with his spikes.
You invented a verb.
Huh?
You invented a verb just now.
I did.
Two-seaming.
Two seaming. Yeah, we'll go two seaming.
How's Brent Suter different than the Brent Suter you had before?
He's probably got a little more polish to him. I mean, when I had him in Milwaukee, it was a lot of fastballs, and it worked. I think he's taken his game to another level. He's got a few more pitches. I used to call him an artist. I said, some guys paint with a brush, you paint with a can. You throw it up against the canvas and you look at it and you go, hey, that's art. Because that's sort of the way he pitches. But, he's just a guy that it looks different. He looks different than anyone else really in the world. And so, he gets by with a lot of things. But I do think he's taken his game to another level. He has pitches that he didn't have when I was here, when I was with him in Milwaukee. And he certainly has learned a lot about how to pitch against big league hitters.
Because last year you looked at the pitch mix and it was just drastically different.
Drastically, yeah,
Like,
drastically.
Like crazy.
Well, he didn't give up a home run in Coors Field, and that should actually be kind of a record of some sort, I would think, because that's like playing on the moon. So, he's very unique. He works quick. Guys like to play defense behind him. He doesn't give up a ton of damage. So, he is that guy that kind of no matter what he's been or done, he's always done the same things, right? Like he's always been successful. And so that's what we're hoping for with him here.
Derek, how excited are you about the number of different arms you have in the bullpen this year and what's been happening?
Yeah, I thought our front office did a great job. I mean, they identified our needs, they filled them, and probably even went a little bit above and beyond with that too. So not only did we get what we needed, we might have been able to create a little bit of depth too, which just for so long that's been hard for us. We just haven't ever really had a lot of depth. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about being able to trade out guys if we have to. And being able to do it easier than what we've ever been able to do before. We've been hamstrung a lot, and it's not easy to have to navigate through that. It seems like you're throwing out a new guy that's never pitched in the big leagues about every week, and you're having to try to figure out and make it work. Well, hopefully we kind of are going to stay away from that more this year.
Where do you see TJ Antone coming into this season? The guy's missed a lot over the last few years.
TJ's healthy. TJ will pitch. I mean, he's proven every single time he's been in the big leagues that he's been effective, if not elite in some cases. So for us, it's like if we can get TJ to stay healthy all the way through this thing, like he's going to be a big part of our club. And to me, it's really as simple as that. That's it?
What else you got?
Yeah.